Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Saturday Boys, where every day is a Saturday. Come hang out with us as we talk about games, music, movies, and more, all over nice cold drinks. My name is Nick, and I'm joined by Anthony.
Hey.
And Brandon.
Hello.
How are we doing today, guys?
Great.
I'm here.
I know. It's been fun. Yeah, we doing a fun one today. I'm excited for today's episode. I had a lot of fun doing this one. Yeah. Oh, man. I don't have a little thing to put it on because none of us actually own the game digitally. We just put it kind of. I thought it'd be funny just to put a USB flash drive on it. We all own it digitally.
This is Dead Space.
This is Dead Space.
It's flash drive.
God, I kind of tell a quick transition before we start everything how I played this game. So I don't have a copy on 360 or anything. I don't know if I own it digitally on the Xbox, and mine's still all packed up. I haven't even gotten out my Xbox yet. I'm like, oh, I think I own it on Origin, because I think I got it way back in the day because I played Titanfall on Origin when that came out. I'm like, I think Dead Space was a free game back in the day. I don't want to install Origin. Let me just see how it is up on Steam. $20 brand new. All right, let's download Origin, get this all set up. It is not the best way to play Dead Space. It definitely is an older.
Never the best way to play anything.
No,
it was.
Origin. Yeah, it was a little fun, but I ended up using the controller for the playthrough. The mouse and keyboard did not work well. Did it work better? Do you have it on Steam?
Yeah, I have it on Steam. It's still wonky.
Still wonky?
You need to edit the game files to make it work better, and you have to do this weird thing where
it's like it was made for a 360 or PS3 or something like that.
Yeah, it's like it's a console game.
Oh.
But yeah, you have to do this weird roundabout thing. So you have to turn VSync off, and then you have to go in through and turn it on, but through I think your actual. Was it your graphics card or through
you have to do way too many menus more than I'd ever want to do for this.
It's convoluted. Just use a controller.
Well, we're talking Dead Space.
We're talking Dead Space.
We're drinking Dead Space.
Oh yeah, what are we drinking today?
The Necromorph. Yeah.
The Necromorph.
Yes. Oh, for the people that don't know, most people probably don't know.
Yeah, because we had a deep dive for this.
It's like a Reddit cocktail. So
we're like, we've been doing some good themed ones on these past time. Like, all right, Dead Space. Shit.
Yeah.
What do we do for this?
So this is tequila, white, clear tequila, tequila blanco. Some black cherries and black cherry juice, some black pepper simple syrup, and then some lemonade.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We've yet to drink this because this was an interesting one. We didn't know how this was going to clink out.
Yeah, this seems like a scary drink. So
I mean, it is for a scary game. So we're going to cheers here, some clinkies, get some actual reactions to us. Let's get some ASMR.
Saturday. Oh, that's.
Ooh.
I kind of like that.
I don't get the pepper at all, but that's all fine. We put in just a little bit. I see floaties in my drink, and I don't like it, but I know it's pepper.
I got a little bit of pepper, but it's nice.
Yeah.
I guess I maybe
just
didn't get
okay, so for those, it calls for black pepper simple syrup. I couldn't find black pepper simple syrup. I don't even.
You can make. Have you ever made your own simple syrup?
No.
It's super fun. It goes bad really fast. That's the biggest thing because you have to put an acid or something. I'm assuming why black pepper. You literally just boil water on a low simmer with some sugar, and you kind of add it until it becomes a thick syrup, and then you can just do whatever. So if you put black peppercorns in there and then strain them out, that'll create black pepper simple syrup.
Oh, okay.
So you could totally make your own flavors and stuff. It's just kind of a bitch, and unless you put in something citrusy, like lemon juice or something, it'll go bad real fast. I when I first got my job at Starbucks when I got out of high school, I wanted to create my own simple syrup because I liked all their teas and stuff. I created a big bag, a whole saucepans worth of simple syrup, and you use this much for drinks. You do not use a lot. That went bad so fast. I was like, mold.
It's growing.
But yeah, no, this was actually really good. We were kind of surprised going into this. It's got floaties and stuff. Because what did you do to the cherries on the bottom?
Muddled them.
It's muddled cherries.
Like I was saying though, the black cherry or the black pepper simple syrup couldn't find that, so we just did regular simple syrup, but with black pepper.
Okay, I got
in
some
it.
black pepper right there.
Yeah,
that wasn't bad.
No, it's honestly,
when there's a hint
bad.
of it, it's nice.
Yeah, when it's a hint, it's not too bad.
Yeah, because we didn't overdo it.
Yeah,
so that's the key. Can't overdo it. This is a very weird beverage, so it's you have to.
Well, if you think about it, Necromorph is a very weird enemy. So
probably one of the most unique
This is
like ever.
It's actually really good.
I like the black cherries.
I was
Though.
say, there's not a lot of alcohol in it. It was just a little bit of tequila.
It's,
and also probably we
shot
made
or
it a
two
little
of
bit
tequila.
big because it called for what, the highball glass or something like that, or
yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Glass, but
No, it's really refreshing though.
I know it is actually really well. It's just lemonade with some tequila and some other stuff in it.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm into it.
Crushable.
Yeah, it's so good.
Well, I have some not so important news this week.
Nice.
Mine both have to do with. Well, one has to do. They're both kind of food related.
That's good.
Pile of raw chicken on airport luggage carousel prompts warning from TSA. This is from Fox News.
Wait, pile of raw chicken on airport,
Yeah.
On the carousel?
Yeah.
like the thing you get your
yeah.
baggage from.
Yeah. The luggage claim.
How?
It was in a container with like dry ice, and whoever had it didn't lock it.
Oh, so it fell out of the container of dry ice.
Yeah, and it was just a heaping pile of raw
Of
chicken.
raw flesh and meat.
Yeah, just going around the carousel. So that kind of looks like
Mommy?
a necromorph.
Is that our luggage?
Right. Is that alive or is that our luggage?
Don't look at it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
See, when I do love Dead Space 2 as well, and I'd love to do an episode on that in a little while. There's a great marketing thing for that with Your Mom Hates Dead Space. You guys ever see those ads?
No.
We'll get into them in Dead Space 2 because they're for Dead Space 2, but there's a great series of ads that I'll have to show you guys that when we're done, when we're prepping for the next. Because I really enjoyed Dead Space playing it this last run through.
No, I wish I gave myself more time.
Dude,
I
stayed up
underestimated
until
how long it was.
we all did. We thought this was a quicker game.
Yeah.
I clocked in. I didn't look at my time.
I'm at
It was
7.5.
3 in the
chapter
morning
8.
when I beat the game
wow, really?
last night. I guess this morning technically. I had 2 chapters left. I was so close to beating. I'm like, I got to beat it before the episode's out. So it was so good. Well, yeah. So seeing a giant pile of chicken on a turn carousel thing, not really expecting that.
No.
It's
I mean,
supposed to-
that's probably not the weirdest thing you could find on a carousel, but
No. This makes me even more so never want to touch that at all. Like, just like
Flying.
get your bag and then later.
yeah, get your bag and go.
Like the smallest amount of contact possible.
Do you guys have any of the cool things that you use to signify your bag, like a little band or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to. Now I just. Me and my mom, we used to have. There would be the Hawaiian tags, and then hers was red, mine was blue.
I use a dog collar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I need to get one for mine now.
Well, you guys aren't checking anything on this next flight or for your guys'
That's true.
show
I guess
next
that's
week
a tiny bag. Yeah.
or
Chicken.
whatever week after that is. Whenever this is coming out, I don't know. My timeline's all messed up. It's
Yeah,
been fun.
Time is relative.
This is the end of September. It comes out. To 25th.
I was about to say the 28th of. Do you remember?
It's easier for me because I'm scheduling the upload, so I actually know the dates.
Oh yeah, true.
Well,
All right,
moving on.
moving on.
So this one actually comes from John.
Oh.
From the grave.
Oh, John from the grave.
John from the grave. Just kidding. He'll be with us next month for an episode. We're doing just a little sneak peek. We're doing a bunch of Halloween.
Launching Horror Month, Horror Saturday,
month, yeah.
boys.
It'll
So
all
excited.
be scary stuff.
This is kind of a transition into it.
this actually kind of kicks it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so he sent me this article and told me to read it off for this week. Feds are reportedly looking into why McDonald's ice cream machines are always busted.
I saw that article and I didn't click on it, but what does it say? What does it say?
Well, I'm going to read what John sent about it just
Okay,
to
so
give
this
a little
is-
bit of his.
Okay.
So he says the McDonald's one actually has some weight. I sent him the pile of raw chicken one. He's like,
Okay.
well, this McDonald's one actually has some weight.
Yeah, no, that was a quick little
He says, I guess it deals with the right to repair legality and the movement within it right now. Totally behind that philosophies. He said, basically it's on that they should be able to repair their own shit because they have a vendor that comes out to service it. And I guess that vendor filed a lawsuit against a smaller company that reports the status of every McDonald's ice cream machine.
Is that like that program that dude made? Do you guys hear about that last year?
Mm-mm.
A guy made had a web app or something where it will go to the McDonald's menus and see if you're able to order ice cream to know if their machine is down or not. And then it reports it. So it has a whole map where you can see where the ice cream machines are down so you can avoid those McDonald's.
It's actually it actually does kind of tie into that because they're suing for defamation. At least the company that is fixing the machines is suing the company that is like saying that the machines are broken, essentially.
Oh shit.
And basically their whole thing is like the McDonald's have the right to fix it themselves and not to call us out every fucking time. Like
well, McDonald's is a real estate company, so they do whatever they want.
Well, yeah, exactly.
With what's on their real estate.
But yeah, no, they basically just have a bunch of proprietary deals caught up in there, and there's a bunch of weird legalities with like, are the machines actually broken? Are they like faulty machines that are built to keep on failing? To like, it's a bunch of weird, actual, kind of fascinating stuff that's in there. But yeah, no, that one actually is kind of weird because everybody's always bitching about the ice cream at the. It's like, oh my god, you're down again. Jeez.
That's the type of thing. I was like, I wouldn't even go to McDonald's for ice cream because if
you
the
know it's broken.
No. If the machines break that bad, I mean, I've worked at some food service industry places, and if you don't keep up on things,
they're not gonna clean it.
It gets real dirty real fast. And I'm like, if it never breaks down all the time, why would you clean it? It's like I do not want those 15-year-olds touching that ice cream machine. No. Like, I'd rather just go and pick up a pint at the grocery store.
Yes, sir.
Get the ice cream I want and eat the entire pint in one night usually.
I had a delicious pint of ice cream. It was the Private Select from Kroger. Dude, it was the main blueberry and waffle cone. Oh my heavens. That was so good. Like, it was so good. Best ice cream I've had out of a pint, in my opinion. I like berries, though. I'm cherries, berries. I like.
For me, with ice cream, I like more of the kind of like butter pecan or like Rocky Road or
butter pecan. That was my second choice. It was either the blueberry with waffles or butter pecan. They were just sitting there, and I was like.
My all-time favorite ice cream flavor is the mint chocolate chip, though. But you can burn yourself out on that one too much because it's so minty. Yeah. But, like I'll get in waves where I'll just like eat it all the time, and then like. I have to switch to something else because it's mint, so it kind of it's tasking. But I found a new thing that I eat that's mint all the time: Girl Scout Thin Mint almonds. Oh, Costco has them. I've gone through so many boxes of them. Not boxes, little container thingies.
Thin Mint almonds?
Yeah, the Girl Scout Thin Mint like chocolate coated almonds.
Oh, that sounds bomb.
So good.
They are.
That sounds so. You know what I've been hooked on? Trail mix, dude.
Okay, just like regular trail mix, or do you go get out fancy ones?
No, dude, I just go get the Cars trail mix, man. It's got raisins, M&Ms, some nuts, and some sunflower seeds in there. I rock with that hard.
All right, there we are.
You heard it here first. Trail mix. I've officially transitioned.
All right,
instead of a candy bar, I found myself picking up a bag of trail mix.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I know.
It is better for you. I'm not complaining. I'm just like,
it's still chocolate and nuts and stuff. I mean, it's all right for you.
The biggest thing is about controlling your dose, not eating an entire bag.
Yeah, I'm just eating like a little handful of it at a time is really what it is.
And what's nice about trail mix is it's got the salties, the sweets, it satisfies everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole
kind of
shtick of it.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go into my article because it kind of ties into Dead Space. Actually, it is about Dead Space. It is the Dead Space remake will be updated to stay relevant for modern audiences. And it all talks about the big live stream that happened a little bit ago. Basically, EA Motive is a reworking the Dead Space. I showed you guys a little trailer of it that they did from the live stream. And they're remaking it. And they're going to be changing it up. Because now that they've had the experience of the other games ahead of them, they're giving Isaac Clarke a voice in the remake.
That's wild. Oh. I like that.
He's actually going to have speaking parts. They're going to tie it into some of the story because something I'll talk about in this game. In my run through, I thought there was a lot more unitology levels than there were, and I was thinking of the sequels. The sequels had a lot more unitology levels than the first game did. The first game was more of like the space horror, while the other ones kind of went a bit more Hollywood with it. Kind of more story driven, added more characters, a lot more unitology elements. And it was good, but they're kind of different tones.
Yeah.
So they're going to be adding cut content into the remake. So it's probably going to have some more levels, more expansion stuff.
Director's cut.
Kind of, yeah. It's things that Visceral can't go and obviously remake it themselves, but there are some ex-Visceral staff on there.
Okay.
So those people who know what they're doing. But yeah, the biggest thing is going to be the graphics and running well, and then kind of rewriting it to fit into the later series. And they're planning on doing this one and the second one. I don't know if they talked about the third, because the third one was not very well received at all.
Yeah.
So it kind of...
Pretty bad game.
We're not going to do an episode on the third one. We'll probably talk about it at the tail end of 2 whenever we do that. But
Probably do like 2 when the remake comes out. Talk about 2 and the remake,
Yep.
and then cover just a tinge of 3. Be like, yeah, 3.
yeah, 3 was a,
Basically,
it was
what
a
we
game.
just did right now.
Yeah. But yeah, so mine just talks about how it looks really good. Like we watched a thing where they were shooting the necromorphs, and it was just like the skin was peeling away, and you were just seeing the bone.
fucking
It was
gross.
terrifying.
Then
Some of the lighting.
the best way.
Shot it in the face and it just peeled
was
the
a
skin
skull.
off the
Yeah.
skull.
It was
I was
just-
like, oh, I love it.
Oh my gosh. So
So let's just go
dive
right
on
into
into the game.
my big thing with this
Yes.
game. I said it. It's game mechanics.
You don't like
I-
the game mechanics?
I love.
Oh, you love the game mechanics.
These are some of my
Okay.
favorite game mechanics ever in a game, and I just love the use of the HUD.
The HUD in this game.
Just
Oh.
everything,
absolutely
like the
perfect.
way
So-
you have to play with the weapons, the way you have to check your ammo, check your health. Like,
I'm a
it
big
just-
fan of Ego Raptor and all of his stuff. And one of the things one of his most famous videos is A Link to the Past versus Ocarina of Time. He talks about, he just basically bitches about Ocarina of Time and brings up A Link to the Past. And as playing through the game, there's something that I realized that they both have in common is since Dead Space doesn't ever really pause and all that, you're constantly exploring and combat at the same time.
Yeah,
There's not 2 different sections. It's not like combat puzzles. You'll move something and all of a sudden you're in combat.
Yeah.
Like you're never really safe in this game.
Yeah.
And games like where you explore while fighting and everything, like the example he used was A Link to the Past, is you're overhead and you got to kind of attack enemies as you're going through dungeons, because this game is basically 12 dungeons.
Yeah.
Unlike the later games, the worlds aren't interconnected. There's actually 9 maps because you revisit 3 of them. I was writing down all the maps on there. There's,
yeah, you do. Huh?
There's 9 dungeons, and you revisit 3 of them for later levels and doing different spots. And it's just it's very well game mechanics. I do have my quips with some of the design choices for certain elements, but most of them got fixed in later games. So
Yeah.
that's what's honestly really cool about the sequel is the remake. Is like I might get this perfect Dead Space if they do it right. So it's like
it's
ooh.
everything I liked about 2 in 1 now.
Basically, yeah. And which I love 2 as well, but 1 is a bit more iconic, I guess, because I guess I played 1 more. I completed 1, got every single achievement in it. I didn't do 2 because of that difficulty, the final one.
Yeah.
The like nightmare mode or something where you only
Yeah.
have like 2
Or
saves.
3 saves, I think.
3
yeah,
saves,
which
maybe?
is stupid.
Dude,
Oh,
it's just-
man,
you have to sit there for so long.
You can
man.
die so quickly in Dead
Yeah.
Space 2. You can die so quickly in this game too. So I played on easy.
Same.
The same. And you watched the run through.
I did. I actually tried it on easy a little bit, and I was like, God, I don't have time for this. I got to do other shit. So I just
Yeah.
put on the run through while I was doing other shit. And I was
Nice.
just like observing, and I was like, I've beaten it before, so
Yeah.
it's not, I'm not going in.
And
blind.
I
did
went and
the
did
same
some
thing
pretty
as you.
in-depth notes here as when we do the breakdown of the levels and everything. 'cause-
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So let's start off from the beginning because I kind of did my notes organically. So as I ran into stuff, I kind of talked about it as I like hit the different points. But you start off the game and like just opening the menu. This is the first time I've ever played the game with headphones on in the dark. I will admit.
Really?
I will admit when I first played it, it was on my Xbox in the living room and I was playing music because I was a little baby.
I guess I didn't play it with headphones on, but I always played it in the dark for the most
Yeah,
part.
see, for me, I was a wuss with most horror games, and I would just usually like play music and like TV and lights on. So this is the first time I ever like played it with the headphones on, and you hear everything. Like just starting the game, yeah. I'm just like, excuse me, what? There are so many points in the game where I just wrote the fucking voices again because I would just be like walking down a tunnel and you just hear like, and you're just like.
Right. So many
What-
times
what?
just while playing through, I'm like, okay. Like I know nothing happens right now, but I'm like I'm on edge because I keep
Or you
hearing
hear
you
like
whisper in my ear.
gibberish. Like
Yeah.
it's just like
Well, at some points too, I think they even say the name of the mission or like name of like the chapter.
dude, there's straight up
One
like
guy just listing off a grocery list.
Like you
Right.
hear stuff like that. Like it is really like creepy.
And then constantly hearing stuff crawling through. So even though you're safe because it's a second playthrough,
I don't think I've heard that.
you can hear them crawling even when there's nothing there.
I gotta play this with headphones.
Headphones on in the dark.
Or like
is
when I had with the
terrifying.
speakers, because I just had it cranked. So like when there was
that
big
works too.
encounters, like it fucking like I got jump scared every single time. I knew where every single one was, and it still got me this playthrough.
There were a couple I forgot about, and I kind of shit my pants a couple times. Like, oh mother. Yeah, it does. This game is good. I put it somewhere in my notes that it does good on the classic horror tropes, but it doesn't
Yeah.
hit them too much.
Yeah.
So like the jump scares, it doesn't do the constant jump scare. It doesn't do the constant like fake outs or stuff like that. There are a couple, but it doesn't hit them as much. But yeah, you start off the game. You have the creepy voices right from the beginning. You load up a new save. Something that I kind of don't like, but I understand why they do it, is you can't skip the cutscenes because there are no cutscenes. This game is all rendered
That's
in
true,
real
yeah.
time.
Oh.
There are no cutscenes. It's all the way
All
it is. It's
in-game.
all in-game engine. All that, you know, I mean, you can. There's no transitions to everything. The only transitions are the level transitions.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I could
it's
do,
all
like,
on
the-
elevators or just the game loading.
Yeah, because you're
Yeah.
always like in the cutscene.
You're always in the
And
So
it'll do like the thing where it'll turn you around. So it's like it's a way of like
focus your
like,
where you're looking at.
Yeah, so if it has to load anything in the background, it's giving you a visual without actually taking you out of the game.
So last night when I beat it, I wanted to get through the first chapter again because when you beat it, you unlock some cool things, and I kind of wanted to get some screenshots and everything. Yeah, I wasn't gonna sit through chapter 1 again that too because I remembered. Oh shit, the first door isn't until chapter 2, so I have to play through the entire first chapter, which you can't skip the cutscenes. I'm just like, I guess not tonight. I'll come at it again later.
I hit a bug right after you get the plasma cutter. That when that guy's like on the other side of the door, they just an invisible wall like pops up there, and I just couldn't progress. So I just like tried everything. I tried doing like because like it's weird when you melee, it does like a weird like it pops you out. So I was trying to like make myself like move through the invisible wall, like going in and out of aiming.
Weird. Okay,
Nothing.
I never ran into any of the. You played on Steam though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never ran into any issues like that.
I think it's because I was messing with the resolution and stuff, and then turning on and off.
Yeah, because you
VSync.
got a big ass monitor, so you do like
Yeah.
widescreen resolution and shit like that.
And then it's because then I was messing with the two, so I have it. Was rendered at a higher resolution and downscaled, so this way it'd be like a little sharper and stuff. So it runs really smooth. But I think because I was messing with those settings so much, and I picked up the weapon and I waited too long. By the time I got to the door, I couldn't go through it, so I had to restart.
The only bug I ran into, I managed to get a picture of it.
What the?
I don't know. I killed this necromorph, and he just like, I don't know what that was.
Excuse me?
Yeah, that's the ragdoll physics in this game, which are fucking gold. I
Put that
love the
up
ragdoll.
on the screen.
No, yeah, I got all these pictures so I can put them in the file. But yeah, the ragdoll physics in this game are just great. I think it runs Unity or the new one is doing Frostbite.
I did notice that. I do love the ragdoll in this game, especially
fun.
because like back when I was playing it a lot, I would stomp motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, for
Dude.
sure.
Just stomp
like every
the
dead body,
limbs
just
right off.
assuming it's gonna come back.
I like it when
stomp it.
when like main characters die, I just grab their corpse and
Yeah, just fling it around, fucking throw it, shoot it. Do
hi
whatever you
Hammond.
want.
Or get stuck, get it, like stuck in the door, so then it's like.
Oh gosh, let's see.
Ragdoll.
The
It's
20.
too
Oh, it's the
much fun.
26th century. I was curious how far into the future this takes place.
26th century Fox.
Let's see. It doesn't say what engine it's got. I'll look it up later. Oh, I forgot they did Dante's Inferno.
Good
Oh yeah, because
game.
Visceral, yeah.
Yeah,
Good
Dude,
game.
I want to. How is there even a way to play that without just having it on the
having it
original
on
console?
360. That's a great question.
Because fuck, if they remake that, I'll buy that in a heartbeat. They could
Xbox
just re-release it
360
and
and
remake it.
PSP
Those are the only two.
and
things?
PlayStation 3.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep, it's never been re-released.
Remake it.
Well,
dude.
Visceral.
So fucking good.
It was a good game.
It was fun, man. It was just hack and slash, but it was fun. Man.
It was entertaining. So it was gory as all get out.
Right.
I loved that. Yeah.
It definitely stuck to the as with this game. So replaying it, actually Dead Space 1 I feel wasn't as gory and gross as I remember it being. I think it was the sequels added a lot more of the grossness to it.
I guess the
Yeah.
sequels added more grossness, but it was still kind of.
It's still a little bit
Still
there.
brutal.
It
yeah.
still shocked me a little bit with like how brutal it is.
And some of the rooms, it just
guess I just
coated
become-
with blood.
Yeah, it's just like
I've
coated
become
in blood
numb
and
to
you're
it.
That's
sadly.
true.
blowing limbs off of things. I'm just like, geez.
Yeah, it is brutal.
Well, then depending on what weapon too, like because I'm ever since I beat it the first time, I only play it with the plasma cutter. I don't use any other weapon.
I tried using all the weapons it's run through so I can get a good opinion on all the weapons. But yeah, no, the plasma cutter only run the plasma cutter is one of those iconic weapons. I mean, it's right up there with like the Master Chief pistol and like the maybe Master Sword, or it's an iconic weapon. And I gotta ask the question, since we're talking about the plasma cutter, do you guys use it the right way? Horizontal, right?
Yeah, I default to horizontal.
You default
I only
to
use
horizontal,
vertical
yeah.
if it's absolutely necessary.
I
Which is
do
almost never.
whatever limb I'm trying to blow off is what I switch.
Oh,
into.
horizontal is the easiest. You shoot the knee, then you shoot the arm off.
That's
and they're usually dead.
I always shoot the knees, then shoot
I only
the arm,
ever
or I
put it-
do a knee and then a head, because you can hit the knee and the head at the same time. Well, in
Well,
one fell swoop.
Okay, just bam, bam.
Yeah, once
okay.
if you can dial that in.
See, I only like to switch it vertical when the little baby dudes get on the
when they're on the
edge.
wall.
The three
Yeah.
ones that shoot the prongs at you.
But you can also knock off 2 right arms of a whole necromorph.
Something I never did in this playthrough, because it was easy and I was just always overflowing ammo, was use their limbs to fight with
Oh, yeah.
kinesis.
Yeah.
That was something you have to do on the
spiky
on the harder
Yeah, for
difficulties.
sure. Because it just
You have to. You
because
don't
it's
have the
survival
ammo.
horror. You're not meant to
Yeah.
be fully equipped all the time.
But no, that I didn't really use that too much this playthrough. But
I used it for funsies, not because I needed to.
I always just would forget about it because, as I said, I was overflowing with ammo and I was trying to like use all the weapons, which I have a couple opinion on some of the weapons that could be redone in the sequel. But yeah, chapter 1 starts off with the iconic intro of them going to the Ishimura, which is the setting for this game is great. I love the Ishimura and all of the sections for it. It's very iconic. I remembered some of the rooms more than the actual story beats. Like I'd
That's
walk into the
true.
room like, fuck, I remember this room. I remember like the why. Oh, it's gonna go into quarantine and make. Hey, I remember that. It's very like these are basically like 10 little dungeons that you get to crawl around in. They're really fun. But yeah, so they go to the Ishimura and obviously it's gone to hell. You don't really get a lot of the background for how it's gone to hell until way later in the first game. Like you don't really even like see much of the marker stuff until like at least a third of the way into the game.
Yeah, it's barely it's not really mentioned too much.
There's only like 2 actual that I wrote down in here that are unitology levels where you're dealing with the main unitology dude, the Russian dude. Come on, I don't know if he's Russian. He has some weird accent.
Yeah, because the one that with the regenerator, right? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's the unitologist guy that you eventually see him at the end of the game where he like submits himself to one of the
right.
the creepy things that like
Yeah.
turn him into a zombie. But yeah, he's that weird guy who's like, oh, the ascent to greatness and all that. Yeah, because he's really the only unitology guy in the first one. He's replaced by that super charismatic long haired dude in the second one. I don't know if you remember the main unitology villain in the sequel. He's like I don't know. He in my brain he kind of like I'm envisioning like Doc Ock type of like thing, even though that's not him. It's just But yeah, yeah. Chapter 1 has that freaking the elevator scene where you're running from the necromorph. I always feel like I'm gonna get killed by that. The first time I was like, ah,
it's done
it's
so
the
well,
ass, dude.
You
the
always
intro to it because you don't have a weapon at that point, so it's like
Isaac, run.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Oh, did you guys get Pang? Oh, did you get? Oh, you didn't get far enough. You're not in chapter 11.
No.
Do you remember Pang?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there in right when you land the ship, and you can't get it until like chapter 11 is when you finally get Pang.
Is it really that long in?
Yeah, it's chapter 11 is where Pang is.
Wow.
I got a lot
photo
sooner
of
in
it.
the second one.
Yeah, the second one's harder to find though, because I
Yeah.
remember the second one is like in a side room
Second
where
one
you
I
have to
needed
like.
a guide because I had no idea.
Yeah, because they both had achievements for it, so I was achievement hunting on the second one, not realizing how hard the last achievement would be.
Right.
I think I've only got like 1 or 2 left on my 360 profile, and yeah, I might eventually get to playing it on hardcore mode. Maybe I'll stream it or something.
There's no Steam achievements.
There's no. I was curious about that because I was playing it. I was like, that would be an achievement. That would be an achievement. There's
That's
no
why I
Steam
started with
achievements?
the plasma cutter at first. I'm like, well, I'll just get this.
The
'cause my
plasma cutter only playthrough.
But then I got like I think to chapter 2, and then like I thought to like look at it, and I'm like, oh, 'cause I'm like I haven't seen any achievements pop up. I'm sure I had to have gotten some by now.
at least finish chapter 1. You
right.
know,
And so I'm like, and no. I'm like, okay.
that's sad.
R.I.P.
But I was like, I'm committed. I like using the plasma cutter,
Yeah.
and just because of inventory management, it makes it easy for me to like because I do the thing where I'll just have that one weapon, and then everything else is just fodder for credits. So then this way I can buy all the power nodes. So like when I'm on chapter 8, almost at 9, my rig's fully leveled. My plasma cutter's fully leveled. I have my stasis or kinesis, like the first of
Kinesis
3
is
tiers.
easy. There's only 3 things for kinesis.
So,
Stasis
I
has got like a
almost have
bunch.
everything fully capped, and I still have so many chapters to go.
That is something I like about this game is it's very easily in depth. It's just power nodes. You just pop it on a little thing. That's how you upgrade. I love games that have this type of store mechanic where you just have you can buy ammo, you can sell ammo, you can get new schematics for things, you upgrade it. It's the Resident Evil style. It's meant to be replayed and upgrade. I think when I went through and I completed it, I was on like my 3rd or 4th playthrough because I was getting power nodes for everything, and it would just I love those style of game mechanics where you have the store where you can buy and sell stuff and get treasures like the semiconductors and Pang and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Those are always fun. But yeah, this game is cursed with the QTEs of the early 2000s, though.
Oh yeah.
There's not too many of them. I wrote that down when I ran into my first one, which is the baby dudes that like latch onto you when you first run into them, which is creepy as all. I guess this game really is brutal now that I think about it, because the first encounter with the baby is the dude on the other side of the glass that just like rips him to shreds.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh god.
You see him get torn in half, basically.
Yeah, and I forgot. Did I miss it? Did they explain why there's so many like baby things on board? Like why those enemies are so prevalent in the game?
I feel like I remember 2 had a whole like nursery section, so I think maybe that one explained
That was
it better.
2.
Yeah.
2 had the nursery, which was a terrifying
Yeah, I
scene in
hated
2.
that section with every fiber of my being. And that's why as I was playing it through, I'm like, is that that's the second one? We're good.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to do that again. Not yet.
And I wrote in here that the puzzles contrast to Bioshock. Bioshock had one puzzle and it was trash.
Yeah.
Dead Space has a handful of different styles of puzzles that utilize your mechanics. Because it's really, you have your stasis, you have your kinesis, and then you have like the 0G and...
when you're in a vacuum.
You have like those 4 mechanics that they mix and match into ways to do stuff. Because basically, the main complaint that from this game at the time was that you're the gopher boy. You just go and do things. You flip a switch. You turn something on. It tries to kill you. You just go. Isaac doesn't really have any agency. And something I wrote, it was like, oh, hi, Nicole, because there's like a good 4 chapters where she's not mentioned. You don't say anything to her because Isaac doesn't have a voice. He's not doing anything. You're just doing other things. And it's like, there's like, shh. Oh, Isaac. I'm like, oh yeah, Nicole's in this game. I was just like, yeah, she doesn't really come into it too often, but yeah, kind of also the graffiti and art.
She's dead.
Kind of,
She's dead?
No.
Well, I'm gonna. You know the secret about the titles, right?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things ever. For
The
this
title of the chapters. So this game has. Yeah, he doesn't know. It's going to be great.
Fucking way.
This game has 12 chapters, and if you take the very first letter of every chapter, the first one starts with an N. I forgot what. And then there's interference, course correction, and I see obliteration. O, L, lethal devotion.
Oh, it's Nicole.
Nicole is dead. It spells out the entire because the last chapter is dead space. So it's like the first letter of the chapter spell out Nicole's dead the entire time.
The game literally tells you, and you just didn't even realize it.
What a twist!
That blew my mind.
The first time seeing it?
Yeah, I think me and Christian. I think I was like hanging out with him when we like first found that out. Like that's so fucking cool.
I know, right? It's right in your face. But who would ever do that without like seeing it? It's one of those like.
It was like with Halo, with like the I would have been your big daddy, like trying to figure that shit out.
Would have been your big daddy?
I would have been. Yeah.
I would have been your daddy.
Damn it.
So I got Bioshock on the brain.
I do.
Would have been your big daddy.
Yeah. It's fun.
Big Papa Anthony.
Whoa.
Chapter 2 also has the first introduction of the 0G segments, which thank God they're fixing in the remake. Because 0G in the first game.
They're so pointless in the first one.
Yeah,
like,
it's just they
hopping
didn't have
on
the tech. They didn't have the
walls,
tech to create the
touch
floating
it.
and stuff. So
It's so.
and the combat is just like watching the enemies. Whee!
Yeah.
It's so derpy. Kind of the 0G segments kind of take me out of it. Minus a couple of them. There's a couple good ones toward the end where you have like in a vacuum in 0G.
Yeah, I think when it's combined, I think it's fine because then you have that because you're more focused on like I'm about to like suffocate, so then you don't notice all the wonkiness of the.
You're just kind of trying to go fast.
Just so
I wrote
derpy.
money system. I heart you. I talked about it, but just reading my notes is kind of funny.
Those credits.
Oh, yeah. I wrote backtracking is essential in certain chapters, and then I realized I'm an idiot and I missed the shortcut back to the beginning of the level, and I wrote never mind, all in quotes, because I was remembering like you do backtrack quite a bit in this game, but it does offer you some shortcuts back occasionally.
There's a couple where I'm like, they should have done like a Skyrim shortcut here. Like
well, sometimes they try to Skyrim shortcut. Great example, because these are all mini dungeon levels. So
I was like, I feel like they could have done it. It was one of the sections with the 0G that I was like, I didn't want to have to, because it was like awkward. Like there's only
I know which
spots.
one you're talking about. The tube thing where you have to jump through the little bits.
It's where you have to like move the panels, and it's when it's like the because
I don't like the kinesis puzzles in this game. That's probably the one that I don't like.
The kinesis in general.
I like using kinesis in combat and for exploration. I never.
I don't
like you said.
puzzles
I guess
much.
in puzzles,
In puzzles, I think they did better in the sequels, kinesis puzzles. I don't. There's I think chapter 10 or something when you have chapter 10 when you fight the regenerator again. You have to do a puzzle to where it's like a room full of bookshelves, for lack of a better word, that you kind of got to move so you can like move them around, and then you get to the end, and then now a regenerator is chasing you, and you have to do that puzzle in reverse while the regenerator is chasing you. And that's just I was like, man, fuck kinesis puzzles sometimes. Some of them are all right, but most of them in the first game aren't too great. Still better than a pipe puzzle, but you know.
Yeah.
But that regenerator though, I've never killed an enemy so fast in this game.
Yeah, I wrote that down. The regenerator fight, I did
the cryo thing. I'm like, I was ready. I know the spot.
I think that's because we were on
stasis.
easy. I feel like on harder difficulties, you have to hit him a couple times.
Yeah, I would have gone through all my ammo.
Yeah, I wrote down like that was. Hold on, where did you first fight the regenerator? What level was it? Because that was when regenerator chapter 5, lethal devotion. So that's when you get some unitology. I'm assuming from that. But yeah, it's like, Dr. Charles Mercer. That's the unitology name. I wrote that down because I'm like, it was something I wrote later on. It's like I don't remember any of these characters' fucking names except for Isaac. I eventually remember is Kendra, Isaac, Hammond, and then Dr. Mercer.
I remember Mercer. I think just because of Prototype.
Nicole.
Because Alex Mercer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think my brain just associated the two, and then also because the grotesque things that necromorphs are, and also what Mercer was. So it's somehow my brain is like, you'll remember that.
That's kind of funny. I wrote so a lot of the things that I wrote for my notes were just great moments that I remember, like the gondola ride of like terrifyingness, the first decontamination sequence where you're just chilling in the room and then you get attacked. They're just very like iconic rooms where I was walking into. I'm like, shit, I'm getting ready for a fight here. I'm like, I remember this.
Or you're about to leave and then suddenly the door locks and it's another like security, or it's like
quarantine in effect. It's like
right now, like not all the other times.
Dungeon time. Also going through the hallways and seeing the hole. It's like, great. There's a tentacle later, and then it's like, oh nope, it's the next time you play this level.
That was a good fake out on them, especially when you know it's a thing. Because even it got me again too. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. I'm ready for this, and it didn't happen. I'm like, wait, what?
I want to take a little sidebar to talk about the actual combat mechanics of cutting off the limbs. And apparently, it came really easy to me. Like, I never had issues. I'm like, oh, yeah, cut the limbs. It tells you right when you first get the plasma cutter and all that. But apparently, when they were QA testing it, they didn't have the cut the limbs and everything. And people were getting pissed because they were, like, putting their entire, like, thing into the heart, into the head, and it wasn't killing the enemies. And they didn't really, like, grasp the effects. So they had to, like,
build it into the narrative.
Hand it, like, they had to do the text audio log, like, kill him in the limbs. Apparently that was more subtle. They tried to, like, have the player figure it out, but no one was smart enough to figure it out.
So on the topic of that, so I was smart enough to do this right away. I found joy in shooting off the limbs with that. So, but I watched Markiplier's playthrough.
Oh, no, that's not a good playthrough to watch. Mark, I love him, but watching him play games hurts.
Hurts, dude. He doesn't figure out this mechanic until, like, dude, like way farther into the game than he should have. Oh. Just way far. It's like 3 hours into
usually plays
it or
games
some
on harder
shit.
difficulty, so
You're probably playing it on easy.
Played on
not
medium.
normal, medium.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. How
But
the fuck did he make it that far?
Yeah, dude, and he just was not turning the plasma cutter at all. Wasn't shooting
he didn't
limbs.
realize-
I watched his power washing simulator where he played for 12 hours without realizing he can rotate.
it.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
thing.
what happened.
So-
I'm watching it. I'm
Very
like, you
Mark.
can turn it. You can turn it to shoot, dude. I'm like,
This game, I mean, the UI is minimal and it only pops up in front of you. So if you don't read it, I mean,
and also, yeah, because Mark probably just mashed through it, so he never even read it. That's probably what he did.
I mean,
because I was doing that because
streamer
I know
brain
the controls. Yeah,
Let's Play brain. You kind of sometimes miss easy things because
Yeah.
you're trying to focus on 3,000 things at once. But no,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
no
painful.
excuse.
No
Pretty
excuse. It pops up right in your face.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You cut off the limbs. It's in the trailer now.
it is. Yes. And then chapter 4 is a fun one that I really like. The bridge. Minus one part.
Well, what?
The hold on, where is it? Is it in this part in chapter 3? Oh yes, chapter 3. Fuck the cannons. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Why was that even an added thing in the game?
That even on easy, I died. That was my second. So I did count my deaths up to a certain point. My first death totally wasn't my fault. My cat unplugged my Focusrite, which I had my headphones plugged into. So I was like, ah, shit. I was all doing stuff. And you know the little things that like come out of the belly?
Yeah.
I was in a hallway and all those just came up onto me, and I was like, and I didn't kill any of them, and my health wasn't that full. You can't heal those things. I'm like, no, my first death. I blame it on the cat.
Yeah, those things are brutal.
Second death was totally my fault. I walked into one of those grav things.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't, because I think every other playthrough I've always walked into
I
one.
blame the FOV. I wish I could pull the FOV out just a little bit to kind of like see more around me.
Yeah.
But I guess it is scarier when it's tighter because your field of vision's a lot smaller. But yeah, those things are. I never really use them for combat on easy. On hard, it is super fun to push enemies into those and kill them.
There's a lot of gruesome ways to die in this game.
Oh, I wrote down one of death at the end. The lovely final boss of this game, which is an amazing final boss.
Unlike Bioshock.
I'm lying. I hate the final boss of this game.
Well,
They're both of these
less
games are
shitty.
cursed by shit final bosses.
It's less shitty in my opinion than Bioshock.
So
They at least had more going for it.
it had more going for it, but so when you're fighting basically a big monster on the planet at the end, it has 6 or so yellow orbs you have to shoot, just like all the other necromorphs.
Yeah.
And after you hit a couple of them, it grabs you and does my least favorite thing because I'm terrible at it: the upside down shooting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
When you grab by the tentacles or you grab by that, where you're after, like you're still
It's
in
so
the game,
moving you
where
around.
kind of-
and-
yeah, I didn't do that. I fucked up. He killed me, and his death animation. I wrote like Isaac's crazy death animations here because there are some pretty brutal ways the
Dude,
game
you-
kills Isaac.
You can go into a propeller. You can.
And some of the cutscenes are long. Like he ripped like Isaac in half, and then like shoved it down like the throat, and then like the boot just came out. I'm just like, dude, this is still going on, and there's no skipping this. I'm just like, God, I just gotta. Yeah, no, I died. Let me just die.
Isn't one of them where it's like it just like takes over his body and you just become a necromorph?
I think so.
That's if the little flappy things kill
That's
you.
it.
If you're low enough health and they kill you from the front, they'll do that whole animation to where they'll grab you and turn you into a necromorph.
Ugh.
Yeah, pretty creepy. But yeah, that cannon segment, I did use the mouse for it. Like I had the mouse in front of me. I'm like, all right, let's get as precise as I can because
It was
damn,
still
dude,
awkward even with the mouse.
It's still awkward
I
even
tried
with
it
the
with
mouse.
it and it was like slow. Like it was like enough
I
lag.
wouldn't turn my sensitivity.
I should have
like,
turned
up.
off freaking VSync. That would have probably fixed it.
Yeah.
It was hard. I hate that, especially on easy. It took me like 2 tries. I think it was my 3rd and 4th death were on that. Yes, remake, please be better.
I got down to like 56%. Well, that and I think because I watched a speed run of it like recently. I think one of the last GDQs that there's ones that you can if they're far enough to the side, they actually don't hit the hole, so you can focus in the center. So there's
Okay.
there's a sweet spot that you know they're gonna hit, whether they're going like so. It's not presented well for you to know that. So you just
Yeah,
kinda have to
I never
figure
knew
out.
that.
Yeah.
I remember I created like a hard save before
Yeah.
the thing when I was playing on the hardest difficulty, and that took me hours to get through on the hardest difficulty because you lose your whole.
It's crazy
thing
fast.
so
I didn't
fast.
realize this is me being dumb. At least I don't remember knowing this when I played it on console. You can just hold the trigger and it keeps shooting.
Yeah, but it overheats.
it wasn't
doesn't it?
overheating. Oh, maybe that's on higher difficulties it overheats then.
I thought it. Oh, there
'Cause
is
on
a
easy, it
there
was
is a
overheating for
second.
me.
Oh no, there is a second canon segment where you have to kill a monster on the hole, and that was where it overheats. Maybe it only overheats on that second part.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Because like as I was
the
doing,
second time you go to the
I was
bridge.
like, maybe, and I just held the button. I'm like, okay. And I just
Yeah.
kept going with it and never overheated. I'm like, well, this is okay. Now it's easy. Because otherwise, I was probably gonna lose. Because I was like a minute left and I was at 56%. I'm like, this isn't good.
Yeah. But yeah, chapter 4, the bridge, you got that great cannon sequence. And the first real kind of mini boss, the big dudes with the arms that you got to shoot, like their shoulder pads.
Dude, I walked into that room and I was like, I know what's gonna happen.
I know, it's like, it's the whole like Sixth Sense from Dark Souls, where you like walk into a big square room, like, I will fight something here.
Right. So
This is
be
the
a
place for
horde,
a
or it's
battle.
gonna be one big enemy. Oh no, guess
Or
what?
both across multiple chapters.
Right. Oh, dude.
Out of all the necromorphs, what is your favorite and least favorite to fight? I'll kind of list off the types that I remember. There's the standard slasher, the classic. Then there's like the little baby dudes that like throw the things at you. There's like the dog guys, which are the ones with the long spine tentacle that like crawl on the ground.
I hate those ones.
There's the big bloaters that have the like thingies in them.
Yeah.
The bloaters. I hate the bloaters.
I hate the bloaters too.
I hated the bloaters until I realized how they worked. I'm like, oh, this is
You can
easy.
kill them without getting the
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
It's rough, but you can.
I like the classic ones.
The classic slashers. Then there's the ones with the giant yellow pus that will explode if they get close to you.
Yeah.
Then there's also the super quick ones once you go onto the what's the name of the ship that crashes into it? Search and Rescue. No, it's Dead on Arrival. The Valor. The Valor that crashes in there. You go in, they have like the super quick enemies. Those things I felt got improved in the second game when they did the stalker style enemies, where instead of being quick, they were like shy. I feel like that's a better version of that style of enemy. But no, yeah, I think my favorite is the. Surprisingly, I like killing the dog things. Those are fun. I don't know what they're actually called, but they're not dogs. I just call them the dogs, the things that crawl on the ground with a long spine.
I like shooting those in the head.
They're easy. So the guns I used for this playthrough, my normal set that I always used when playing the game originally is I had the plasma cutter, the
Like a
pulse rifle.
Yeah.
The what's it called? The flamethrower, and what's the last one?
There's the Ripper, there's the line gun.
I don't think I really used much of a fourth weapon. I mostly used those three because I remember trying to play through the Ripper and I didn't like it, but I was playing through on the harder difficulties. Now that I played through the easy difficulty, I used all the weapons.
The Ripper's fun.
Ripper is fun. Line gun is overpowered. If you pump that thing's damage, it just destroys everything.
It makes that bigger like tank one like a joke.
Yeah, the alternate fire. I don't like many of the alternate fire on the weapons, like because the pulse rifle is like you just get on the ground and it kind of shoots in a circle.
Yeah, I feel like there wasn't many applications for that because I feel like usually if I got that overwhelmed, I would need that. I was dead.
The better version of that, I think it's the force gun because you put it in the ground and just like AOE right around you.
See, that's at least practical because
I did not like the regular force gun. It felt like a very weak shotgun. You even upgraded the damage on it a little bit, and it like sometimes would push enemies back, sometimes would break off their limbs. I used that one's alternate fire more, which like shoots a little grenade. That one was fun.
Oh yeah.
And then I used the Ripper. That was fun. I never really used that too much.
Yeah, Ripper's a good one.
That for my second playthrough was gnarly.
I didn't like using the contact beam. It takes way too long to charge up. It's powerful, but I'd rather have something else.
I forgot how that weapon even works. I don't know if I think I only used it for like the achievement, but I don't think I've used it beyond
Basically,
that.
it's just a really powerful rifle. You charge it up and it shoots a directed shot. It'll like
It's kind of like a railgun.
Kinda. It's a single shot gun. Okay. It's like you could use it as a sniper because it keeps its stuff real fast. It's just.
Right. I think I used the version in 2 or like the better version.
Yeah, there's better versions of it in the later games, but yeah. And let's see, we got the regenerator fight, which we destroyed really fast on easy. Yeah. I was like, oh no.
I was so ready because I was like, I know exactly what to do. This is gonna work. I hate this fight with a passion. I hate any enemy that just keeps fucking coming back.
I know that is the first one only has I think 2 or 3 regenerator encounters. You only have to kill it twice. Once with the ice, once with fire. You use the shuttles. Shuttles exhaust blast to kill it the second time. But yeah, the 6th chapter is what I wrote as the poison swamp level. Because it's the environmental hazard where you go around shooting all the things breathing the toxic gas. And like, there's always a poison swamp level.
For real though.
This is when I also wrote Nicole, because it's been a while since I've seen her. I'm just like, where is she in this game at this point? Oh, toilet bugs. I wrote this. There's so many.
They get me every time.
There's so many like bathrooms in this game where there's like nothing in them, and then I went into one and freaking all these bugs jumped out. The little dudes like latch on you, like fucking toilet bugs. Yeah.
And I always feel like I don't want to like they do a lot of damage, so you don't want to let them grab on you. You have to do
and they take up
mash.
so much ammo if you kill
Exactly.
them all.
And then it's like, especially I'm using one weapon, I have limited ammo. I don't want to use a shot that could kill, like 2 or 3 shots. I can kill like 3 necromorphs, but then instead I'm going to take on these stupid little fucking bug things.
One of the things I wrote is in this main thing of this game
Stomp
is you're
'em.
going and doing like centrifuges and you're fixing things. It's all like mechanic. But have you guys seen Galaxy Quest? The
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah.
All of the freaking puzzles in this were designed by that Galaxy Quest dude, where it's like, all right, let's activate the centrifuge, and now you're gonna be killed by it. All right, let's jump on this meteorite with giant spikes. It's just like everything. I'm like, who designs like the giant puzzle room that's on fire? It's just like, I know the ship's breaking, but this feels like it was designed like, who designed all these things?
The centrifuge thing, like I've never been like so like had immediate regret after doing something that was obviously going to kill me. Starts spinning. I know what the fuck a centrifuge, like I know what's going on.
You've done this room in the past. You're like, oh no.
Well, even the first time I did it, I was like, I just casually like, I'm just following the freaking map. So I just start walking out. And as it's coming up to me, I'm like, is that going to kill me? And then it hits me and then just brutally breaks your whole body into nothing. I'm like, how the fuck did I not?
I love and hate that death because that's such a funny death. Just watching Isaac explode into 40 parts.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that happens because you did something stupid, and usually I'm pissed.
Yeah, right.
So it's
So you
like
can't even enjoy
a
it.
double-edged sword with that death.
Yeah, at least
I
when
saw
it's from
that
like
a
a
lot in the later chapter.
necromorph fight, at least it's like, oh fuck, I didn't fight it right, or I ran out of ammo. But like with that, it's like, well, fuck.
Also, this chapter had a spot where when the headphones on, there's a creepy little girl throughout this entire chapter singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star," just like
Ugh.
star. It's like, this is fucking. I never heard any of this stuff playing it the first time. It's just like there's
When
so
that's
much.
in the little intro.
It's
animation,
all
too.
over the game. That
Yeah.
was when like the first time I heard it, and I picked up on it from there on. I was just like, you occasionally hear it a couple times here or there, just like unsettling moments. And then that's chapter 7. I wrote the yellow level because it's the visuals for this level is this is the asteroid. Fuck the asteroid. I have that underlined very hardcore because I died so many times on that asteroid.
Twice for me, but one of the deaths had nothing to do with the asteroid.
Oh no! What was the second death?
So, because you know the way that it's set up, so you have like the asteroid here, and there's like this weird like thing that's like shooting from it. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's basically
I jumped
asteroid
into
with two
that
tethers.
by accident. So the way it is, like, there's like because you have like the tethers that are on the 2 sides here and then outside, right?
Yeah.
So there's this thing in the center that's like funneled up to the asteroid, and then there it's like surrounded, like it has metal bars and stuff like
Fuck
around
that
it.
thing, whatever that is.
As I'm jumping,
I hate that thing.
angled it wrong. So instead of her like going past it, I hit one of those metal bars. When you hit that metal bar, you die.
So
Like you don't just get hurt, or you just immediately die. Like it's like something about that was a self-destruct button for Isaac.
I'm not gonna joke. Katie came and was like, "Are you okay?" Because I died at this spot like 6 to 8 times at least,
no.
bare minimum. And I was like, "Fuck!" And she's like, "You all right?" I'm like,
It's-
"No, I'm
it's-
at a hard part. Right? I'm too impatient for it
annoying. Exactly.
because you have like 4 corners of the asteroid, and it's got this thing that's spinning, and it's not spinning like only one spot that you can go through."
You have
And
to find the right spot.
I
and go
finally
around.
did it right, and I was leaving the area, and like to say this is the spear, and my goal is to because it's the 0G where you have to like launch from side to side. You basically like create a vector and you go along that vector. I got too close. I was.
Oh. Yep.
It killed me. I was like, no, I wasn't even on the asteroid. I just got hit by it and I exploded. I was done. I was leaving the room and I was like, no, I have to do this all over again. Yeah.
Literally checkpoints you at the beginning of the
Checkpoints.
whole process.
I didn't really use many saves. I'm a spastic saver normally, but I tried to save only the end of each chapter at the beginning of the new one, just to kind of force myself to
I
not.
literally every opportunity I had.
You're
And I had
spastic saver?
3 rolling saves, but it's because I know the port is wonky.
Yeah.
So I like, especially with that invisible door when I had to restart, I'm like, I'm not gonna take the chance.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the escape pod. It comes full circle in the Valor ship because there's a side point where like Hammond's like, I trapped one in an escape pod. Then you see it in the escape pod and he launches it, and then it's the Valor's like, we picked up an escape pod. I'm like, it's come full circle. That's how they get the necromorphs on their ship.
Fucking Hammond.
Yep.
Hammond. It was him the whole time.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. Like he was actually a military person, right? I was trying to because Kendra was a double cross. She worked for she was like a government agent trying to steal the marker as a weapon, but Hammond actually like wanted to do the job normal. As I felt like he was the straight guy.
Right.
Or Kendra did the whole double cross. and then dies in the stupidest way. Which you have to watch every time when the final boss kills you, because there's no skipping cutscenes because everything's rendered in real time. I may have died to the final boss a couple times because I just was done with it and it was 3 a.m.
Fuck it.
But yeah, good characters, bad names, because I forgot all their names at that point. I'm like, the dude and the girl, the chicks, the people, the weird unitology guy. I know all the characters. I don't remember any of their damn names except for Isaac. Isaac Clarke is a very...
It's a good name.
Good name, yes.
Why couldn't they name everybody else like that?
Right?
Yeah,
Isaac Clarke. Isaac Clarke 2. Isaac Clarke 3.
Everybody's Isaac Clarke now.
Oh, the shooting gallery achievement. I wrote that. I saw the shooting gallery, and I'm like, yep, not doing that. Because there was a really hard achievement in shooting gallery in this game. Kind of like the Resident Evil 4 shooting galleries.
Oh.
I guess I like this game because it's like very Resident Evil 4-ish. It's a third-person action-adventure shooter with puzzles.
It's a Resident Evil
horror.
Game, or Resident Evil. It's Resident Evil 4 that I'm actually good at, because like Resident Evil 4 I'm garbage at.
Well,
but this
different
I'm good
game
at.
mechanics a little bit here and there, but same like family of games.
Yeah, like for that style, because like I'm better at like RE5 in comparison, but like between like RE4, 5, and Dead Space.
I forgot about the Squidward mother dudes. I call the tall dudes with the capes that explode into like little squid heads.
Yeah,
I call
fuck that
them
enemies.
Squidward dudes.
Because I forgot that even was a thing, and I saw him and he was like
guys.
walked around the corner. I'm like, the fuck are you? I'm like, well, what are you doing?
What are you doing, you
I
tall-
shoot him like
tall son of a
twice. I'm like,
bitch?
oh, that was easy. And then all the freaking tentacle things come out, and I'm like, what the fuck's going? And then one comes like a xenomorph comes through like the freaking roof vent
terrifying.
and attacks me. I'm like, what is going on?
What is going on? Yeah, and then there's the whole other mini game is the Zero-G basketball.
Yeah.
I got that and I was like, I'm gonna play around, and then I like started halfway through and I'm like, all right, I don't got time for this.
Right, I'm done. That's good.
I don't remember there is no achievements for it, so there's no point to play it. I was like, oh, I played it all for the achievement.
Ugh.
What?
Just a picture of like it's like a sacrifice essentially in the game.
Is that the new remake graphics or?
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the remake. Oh god.
What?
Just zoomed in on it.
Yikes.
See, that has a lot more of the unitology stuff. There wasn't a lot of the unitology iconography outside of a couple of the levels where you're like dealing with the dude himself. Like the second game, because you takes place in like a city, it's a lot more like unitology and all that, which I kind of like a little bit less. I kind of like just the straight up sci-fi horror a bit more than like the culty horror.
I like
guess.
a little blend of both, but I do prefer just straight up like.
I like that it makes them so different from each other. Like I like that they went full on with one, and then they went more towards for the second one. Like I this way, like I can play them as two different games. So like it'll be nice for the remakes to have like
A little bit of both.
yeah.
So something that a lot of the characters say throughout the game is the quote, "Make us whole again."
Yeah.
And I realized that basically the two people you hear say it is Nicole, and then you hear that the good doctor, because there's a guy who's actually trying to help you. He wants to get the marker to the planet, and because you think that's what you want to do, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll make us whole again." They're all going insane from the marker, and taking the marker to the planet is what
whole again.
makes that's what the necromorphs want. They want it back. They want it off of the ship. So I was like, it took me a while to like realize, oh my god, I'm playing into their plan. Make us whole again as the enemy. Like I just thought that was something cool, and then I realized on this playthrough, I'm like, I don't want to take the marker to the planet. That's where it all came from. That's where the monster is.
Yeah.
Let's just jettison it that way.
To the sun.
And it's not even the original marker. It's a remake. You get in the text files that because the original marker was found on Earth like hundreds of years ago, and that's what started the Unitology religion. And then this is a reproduction that they put on the planet to like activate it. It was all like a social experiment. That's what Kendra says is the Valor was sent to kill everybody, not save everybody. So because you're working for you're working for like a smaller company to like go out and fix them. And that's why like you suggested the mission because Nicole was your girlfriend on the ship. That's why you're the engineer tasked to it and everything like that. Which, as being the engineer that doesn't speak, you don't really feel like an engineer in this game. There's one thing that they talked about. It's like, oh, these aren't guns. These are mining equipment. I'm like,
They're
guns.
They're guns. Yeah.
guns.
And the one's called a pulse rifle. Like
I mean, that is the most military. And when you fight the people, something that this game doesn't have that I feel makes it a little bit better is you don't fight humans in this game. You never fight humans.
Just straight.
In 2 and 3, you do have human
That is true.
shootouts against unitologists and military men and all that. In this game, there's no human. By the time the
all-
Valor gets to you, they're all dead. They're all necromorphs. So there's no human fights in the first game. And what really messed me up is in the second game you go to the ship for a little bit, and I was like the return to the Ishimura for a little bit in the second one, because I was like, I feel like there's some levels I'm missing. Like, oh wait, those levels are in the second game.
Fun fact about that one, it's actually ranked as the scariest part in the franchise.
I love that level.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Good level.
Good game.
Yeah.
Both of them, but still. The final chapter takes place. The final chapter in the Ishimura takes place on the chapter 1 map. It's kind of a cool, like, full circle.
Circle of life.
That's where you get the Pang and Expo dump. Oof.
Right.
Yeah, because it's just like, oh yeah, this game has some story. Talk. Oh, and then you finally get to actually see Nicole, and it's super creepy because she's not actually there. Like the whole time I was like, I don't remember my first playthrough, but I'm pretty sure I knew something wasn't right with her the entire game. Because I know the whole twist like caught me, because I remember the room where the twist is revealed and everything, where he watches the video fully to the end, and you watch it. I'm like, oh, it's kind of creepy.
Well, I think like what I picked up on, like I wasn't sure, like what I had a thought was because what Kendra she was kept saying about like she's seeing her brother. Is that what?
Yeah, I was like, I thought I saw my brother again.
And it was like, well, that's impossible.
He's impossible.
Like that was like the thing I kept like. My thought was like they keep pushing this on us, like they keep saying that, they keep bringing that up. Like I don't think that has to have relevance.
I wrote this down. Okay, it was in chapter 7. I wrote, Nicole shows up after hearing the story of Kendra seeing something. The next thing you see Nicole. Like she says that, then you see Nicole like immediately after. So the game kind of sets you up that like you're seeing stuff that's kind of impossible. The story of seeing someone you shouldn't is what I wrote. So it's like, it does breadcrumb you the entire time.
The only convenience, like when she pops up, is like, oh, it's like I'm right over here. Like, let me go over here to open this door.
I know, it's like I'm always away from you. That's why when you finally get next to her in the last chapter, I'm like, this is kind of weird. I go down to the ship. I'll meet you there. You sit down. I'm here now. It's like, this is kind of weird.
Then, like when you first like actually see her there and she's helping you, it's like, I mean, you can get to me.
It's like, yeah, there's a gap there, but
right?
I mean, I can kinesis you. I mean, like it's a world. It's like, you know,
like you can just jump, like you'd be fine. Like, or you can just walk back to where we just were and just like kind of climb through some shit and you're fine.
No,
I know the plot and just whatever.
And then the last chapter of the game. How do you guys feel like when the games like this, when they throw a last chapter on you, that's mostly all just combat? The final chapter of the game is you take the marker from the ship to the like spot where it's supposed to be, and then you go backwards, and you like it's basically just like a long tunnel where you're just dragging the marker along, and it's all like combat sections, very little puzzle mechanics to them all. Because like since I was playing on easy, I guess I didn't really have any of a challenge to it. I was fully loaded up at that point. I prepared myself, but like I don't know.
I think I don't know. I guess for the way 2 is, I'm more okay with it.
2's twist takes place way more. There's a lot more game after 2's.
But I think with 1, I didn't like it as much just because I like the idea like how it was like how the way the pacing was with like it being more slow and like you had like these big encounters, but then you had a lot of these like kind of like moments to kind of figure out what to do and like have to survive. But I think like kind of throwing that in it just kind of changes up the feel too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it when it's more spread out, like having that all dumped there, or if like you have like a huge section where nothing happens, I feel like it doesn't like you need the kind of back and forth, like at least for me to like kind of keep it interesting, and it kind of keeps up with that vibe of, because then you don't know what's going to happen, but if it's always one or the other, then you kind of just
I forgot about the wall enemies. Those are probably I would put the wall enemies as my least favorite enemy.
I think them, but then really it's the little guys they shoot out.
Well, it's the combination. I group those at the same enemy because they spawn the other ones. I felt like even on easy, they took so much ammo to kill.
And they're so hard to dodge. Like because at least the babies, when they would shoot the projectiles, you can sidestep them pretty easily because they're spread out. But with the little guy, like those little ones, so the single one, it auto tracks you like a motherfucker.
I hate. There's a point in the game where there's 2 right next to each other. I think it's like chapter 10 or 11 or something like that. And man, fuck that part, dude. Because they're constantly spawning things. It's like I want to shoot them to kill them, so they stop spawning things. But they're spawning more things. They're all hitting me, so I got to deal with killing them. But they're spawning more things as I'm killing them. And it's just like. It's a race against time and ammunition.
Right.
I hate those enemies.
I never wanted to.
And
like,
if you get close to them, they do an insta kill. That's the whole thing. Is there's 2 of them by the door, and you got to get through the door. If you get up to it, they'll just stab you and kill you.
I think that might have been end of chapter like 7 or 8 because I did that today.
It's one of them. Fuck them. I hate that part.
But yeah, I remember seeing
They're
that
in the
part,
last chapter too.
And what I do is I had it set up because I knew there was the 2, so I had it to where like from the corner I couldn't see the other one, so I could just fight them 1v1. Because fuck that shit. Because I know exactly. Because I'm pretty sure I tried to go through the door and skip them, and it didn't go over well.
You know what kind of bullshit they're up to.
Yeah. So I was like, nope, I'm gonna fight you 1v1, take a shit ton of damage, but luckily it was on easy. But I lost half my health in that fight. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So something I want to talk about is what makes a good final boss versus a bad final boss. This game, I feel, is a bad final boss because it's not challenging in the right ways. There's only like 3 phases to it. There's the first part where he's just throwing a tentacle at you, and you just shoot the parts, and he kind of does that. Then he grabs you, and you got to do it upside down. And then once he's like all the things around his head is done, his chest is exposed. Then it's just 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. It's like he never changed it. I don't know if I just got him stuck in an AI loop or something, but I would just like dodge, shoot, dodge. I use a plasma cutter. I never use another weapon for the final boss. I felt like a good final boss would like challenge all of your stuff. Like I don't remember. I do remember the final boss of the second game. Also not as better, but not the best. Final 2 is Nicole, if you don't remember. And yeah, it's pretty. Not the. Still, it's a better fight, but it's like I want a final boss for these games where it's like kind of multi-stage, where you have to like use kinesis or something like it.
Yeah.
Because this game feels kind of like a Zelda game. You're given tools, you're given puzzles, you kind of do all this stuff, and the best final bosses are the multi-stage ones. You have to use your different your weapons that are given to you, and you feel like you want to
show
like,
that you learned.
Yeah, like you want to like come out of it like, oh yeah, that was like I mastered this game. It's not like yeah, I shot the yellow things a couple times and then I ran away at the end. I'm just like, oh.
Right.
Hopefully, maybe they'll have a better final boss in the remake. That's one thing on my wish list.
Doubt it.
Hey, all right. Man can only be hope. But yeah, but when you beat the game, you get the military suit, which is really cool, like the white suit at the end.
I do like.
I do like the suit upgrades in this game. You start off with like very little armor, and you get 5 total suit upgrades.
Pretty badass.
You get like more. I think 3 is the one that's on the cover or something like that, because then he gets like decked out with more and more of the armor, and then the military suit at the end, where you're just a freaking stormtrooper.
Yeah.
With the
That is
impossible
really cool.
mode in this game, which I don't think the first game has the impossible mode where you're limited to saves. I think it's just a really hard difficulty. Because I remember the second one added the save, and that's really what made me not want to do the second
I didn't even
one.
bother. Once I heard that, I'm like, nope.
My run through of the second one, I think I was like, I did my first save. I looked at like guides online, like where the most suggested time to do your 3 saves, and did like the first save, and I was working my way to the second one. I just kept on dying because it was such like a 6-hour gap of gameplay where you had to do on the hardest difficulty without dying. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not that good. Oh yeah, I wrote because I started up chapter 1 again. Like the Ishimura seems so small in chapter 1 as you're flying up to it. I'm like, I spent the entire freaking game in that thing, and it looks kind of tiny as you're flying on it.
It really does look tiny, especially like when it compares it to the planet. Like it's very, very tiny.
Yeah,
But I mean, I guess in comparison, you are one man.
I know. It's just as funny. Just like looking at that, I was like, I just went through that whole thing, and I feel like it should be a little bit bigger.
Right.
But yeah. You guys have any other final closing thoughts about the game?
It's basically Resident Evil 4 in space.
And it's amazing because of it.
Yeah, I love it. I think Anthony should play Resident Evil 4, but that's beyond me.
I mean, I'm just so bad at it.
It's okay. We all were.
We all were.
There was a point.
Play Dead Space, you can play Resident Evil 4.
You can beat Dead Space. If you can drive
Same
a wrench,
game.
you can drive a car.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
that is not the right thing.
I can't drive a wrench though.
Shut up.
You're already driving a wrench.
Man, I don't know. This does not have that
I
much
know. I
alcohol
learned how
in
to
it.
hit people with a wrench in BioShock, but I didn't learn.
I'm
how to
mixing
drive
all my games together. But yeah, I really thoroughly enjoy this game. I'll probably end up, if I have ever time again, I might continue on my play. It's something you can't change difficulties. I kind of wish I could,
Like midway.
Oh, yeah.
like midway, change it, because I'm like, have to restart a whole new thing from the beginning if I want to play in the harder difficulty. All right.
So I guess it's smart just because, like, since they have the New Game Plus, like, if they didn't have that, then you can just cheese it.
Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that game, but holy crap. And I think 7 did that too, where you can change the difficulty and
so.
increase it, but you keep all your stuff.
Yeah.
Those are great games. We'll get into Resident Evils eventually. But yeah, no, it's a great way to kick off and we'll warm up ourselves for a little bit of horror coming up here in the next couple weeks. Yeah, it's going to be great.
We're going to have some guests. We're going to have some good times.
I'm
On
excited.
Halloween, we'll have some Halloween candy.
Oh, I'm honestly excited to dress up the set here. I was talking to Katie about it, and we were like,
up.
Maybe.
I'll dress up.
Yeah,
I'll get in the mood.
I'll do something simple.
Maybe not every episode, but we'll do some.
No.
crazy stuff.
Just the Halloween one. Just the one for Halloween.
Yeah. Which have we decided we're doing Halloween on Halloween?
It will be Halloween for Halloween.
Nice. Well, I think it comes out like the day or two before Halloween.
It's
but
the 30th.
The 30th, yeah.
29th or the 30th, but yeah.
Yeah, that's so. Looking forward to all that. Social medias. I'm still Nick Benz 9001, and I'm actually streaming maybe like 2 to 3 times a week. I'll try. Anthony's streaming a lot. But where are you at?
Concise Koala on Twitch, and then also YouTube with all my archives.
Have you started posting your archives yet?
Yeah.
He did.
Nice, cool. I'll have to go check those out.
I'm at Pickled Brandon, and then I have a band called End Credits.
Check them out. They're great.
All lowercase, no space.
Yeah.
And then you can find our Saturday Boys stuff at the Saturday Boys Pod on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to start getting better at posting on those social medias and checking them out a bit better.
yeah, we post a meme every Saturday of
Yeah.
what the episode's going to be. But yeah, we'll expect us to be posting a bit more.
Trying to get into that. But thanks for everyone for listening to us and joining us on this terrible ride through the Ishimura. That is an amazing experience. It's fun. I love this game. And
Remember to cut off the limbs.
remember, cut off those limbs. Don't be like Mark.
Yeah, don't be like Mark.
Thanks,
Cheers.
everybody. Cheers. Have a good Saturday.